Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Friday with Friends. Today's friend, a new friend for me, Sister Usha, who directs the Brahma Kumaris in Puerto Rico. And welcome, Sister Usha, to Friday with Friends.
Thank you, Brother Craig.
It's great to see you. As I said earlier, it's good to see you again for the first time.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. So nice with Zoom we are connecting. The world is very small, so happy to connect and be part of the circle.
Yeah, and it's true that we have more opportunities at our fingertips. And then as I'm saying that, I'm thinking, I want to make sure that I take all those opportunities to connect. And that's really what today's title is. The title given to today's chat it's the overall theme of the arts of life. And one of those arts in life is the art of listening. And that is something that even in the social media is deeply connected to listening. We'll go more on that later. But first, I wanted to ask you, when you hear the art of listening, what runs through your mind?
Silence, because to listen effectively, I do think we need to be silent, and not just the silence where there is the absence of words, but silence of my own thinking, my own opinion, or my own planning of what I'm going to say next, because too often we're too engaged in our own process that we don't listen.
That is so true. And I think you went right to the point. You went right to the end point. And that's really what it is. That's the basis of it all, is silence. And so what I was thinking is that when we come into a connection with someone, it's really an opportunity for growth. We have no idea what is possible through our connection with someone at any given moment. We have no idea. But if I'm not there, if I'm bringing my past with me, I can't. So I was thinking, I have to come clean. I have to come into a meeting with someone, in a connection with someone, absolutely clean, so that I can listen, because then I can learn something.
Yeah, as you mentioned that, another word comes to mind with listening is presence. To be present. I have to be, and I like the word that you have used, clean, because there's nothing mixed into that, no ideas, no feelings, no expectations. And also to just be present completely in the moment. My mind is not lagging in the past, nor is it plotting in the future. I am here completely present with all myself.
I feel lighter just hearing you say that, because I know that that's true. And so, it's the conditioning. We come preconditioned. We don't come clean. And so my effort, I'm thinking for me, is I have to bring myself to cleanliness so that I can become clean. I had a little bit of communication with you before this meeting, and one of the words that came up was discernment, to discern. What's the relationship between listening and discerning in your mind?
I think when we listen, then there's a synchronization of frequency. We connect, and as we connect, we are able to tap into that moment and feel what is the need of that moment. So it somehow clears the mind, and we are able to see clearly. And that seeing clearly helps me to be able to decide what needs to be done in the moment. But to get to that, then definitely the cleanliness, no? Because I can have my eyes wide open, but if there's a fog in front of me, I can't see anything. So if there's a fog of the past or the fog of previous thoughts or expectations, but when I am listening attentively with complete presence, with a clean heart, then that fog dissipates and I can see things as it is, not how I would like it. And
Oh,
so that's the discernment.
that's resonating with me very much, but that's a lot on the plate, to be able to not bring my past with me, and you said the word that I wanted to get to is attentiveness. And I was thinking that everything has something that it's got a foundation upon. And it appears to me, or it seems to me, that listening is based upon being attentive. That and to pay attention, I have to want to. I do pay attention to what makes me feel happy or pleasure or whatever it is. I'm paying attention to that. And so it's a recognition that by listening, or by just giving that a little attention, I'll be able to pull that what I need from this moment, and that takes a lot of trust. So that's another thing that's coming up. I have to be able to trust.
Yes. Yes. And when we are centered in, we are comfortable with our own selves. So the first trust is I'm trusting myself. So as I'm trusting myself, that breaks down or dissolves barriers. And so that also the barriers are also part of the fog that blocks the vision and discernment. So when I am trusting in who I am coming clean with my own self, then it allows me to listen and to trust. And also in listening, I can discern what it is I am taking in and what it is I am not taking in.
Well, that in itself is a lot of cleanliness, because it's so easy not to even have these observations of oneself, because we're so busy trying to gain something that we don't have. And what you're saying is, what I get from it is that when I trust that I'll be able to find whatever it is that I need when I need it. And this idea of attention, just wanting to pay attention. Another thing that occurred to me in relationships to others, not only do I want to get something for myself, but I want my presence to also benefit that person in even some small way. And I was thinking of the word discern. I was thinking, I'm usually discerning when I want to be, instead of being afraid or cautious, I could just be discerning, so that I could see something that I see a place where I don't need to go. Like if the sidewalk ends there and there's a ravine, I shouldn't go. I want to discern that that's the end of the sidewalk. And when I'm thinking in terms of relating to others, that let me be such a good listener, attentive listener, that they don't have to discern about me. They don't have to wonder what's the right thing or walk on tippy toes in my presence, that they can feel safe in my presence to express themselves, even if it's not perfect.
I like that very much. And yes, it connects with what you have shared on trust, because when I'm trusting myself and I'm completely clean without any hidden agendas, and I'm trusting in the moment, in the present, that life is offering me an opportunity. So I am also not perceiving or building up any negative ideas in my mind. So that trust that I'm holding in the moment is like an open door, and it allows the other person to feel very much at ease, very open, very relaxed. And so they can flow in their own rhythm. And it's almost when you mentioned that, it's like one word leads to another and another. When you mentioned that, the other word that was coming to mind was fragrance, because like a flower doesn't need to make effort to diffuse its fragrance. It's an automatic process. So when we are in that state of trust and very clean and honest, I really, really clean and honest, I listen and I allow others to be listened to. I allow them to share, to feel comfortable.
And it really touches me. I could feel internally the tears of joy growing because I recognize that is being true, and I'm already receiving personally so much benefit by listening right now. See, that's the magic. The magic is it's the moment, and all we have to do is, I can do it myself, but when you get more than one person connecting, and now we're talking about yoga, aren't we? Is that this is the goal of listening, is to be connected to others, connected to divinity, connected to my own self, and just through this art of listening. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it's very beautiful. It's like tuning in and connecting all of us in a very intricate, I don't know how you would call that, but an intricate circle, invisible connection.
Yes. I was thinking of one of those diagrams, it's kind of a circle, and then you have points in the circle and you draw the lines to connect and you get all over. And it's three-dimensional. We're all so truly, really connected.
Yes.
And then when I'm not listening, it's like I've got my signal turned off. It's like not being on mute, but putting everyone else on mute.
Because I'm broadcasting in a very loud way, but I have everybody in mute, and then they're forced to listen.
Yeah, because I feel unlistened to. See, that's why we do that. That's why you see in the social media, it's not, as you mentioned earlier, it's not so much that we're listening, we're waiting for our chance to say something.
Yeah.
So I recognize that there's so many people waiting in line to say something, but not too many people are waiting in line to listen. So if I don't like waiting in line, go in this line, go in the line of listening. And then it really makes people feel, if not good, at least safe,
yes,
at least heard.
And valued.
Oh, and isn't that what the world really needs, is to each person to feel valued? We have whole groups of swaths of people, whether it be, ethnic or nationalistic or anything, not feeling valued. So we're breaking apart further and further, trying to be heard. We all be heard. And the real skill for me, and I think it's for everyone, but I can only speak for myself, is to be attentive and present, so that it makes at least one little breath of fresh air for someone.
Yes, it really doesn't take too much.
No.
But if I'm so trapped in my own inner world, what I want, and there's a lot of emptiness, then might be in a conversation, but I'm just waiting for my turn to say something, because I just want to vent. I don't have any more capacity to accept anything else that anybody is saying. And then we are completely in disharmony and disconnected when we are like that.
And it makes me think of, no matter what one wants to achieve, even if it's like the high goal of serving others, that this is really the bedrock of that service, is to be a safe haven for someone to feel that their voice means something. Because it's really, I'm thinking it's an act of violence not to listen, and people just get used to that. So there's so much sadness as a result of not feeling heard. And all I have to do I can't do great things, but I can be present in every conversation, in every interaction, whether it's a family member, which is often the hardest for people to listen to, my doctor, or the person who's putting groceries into the bag at the grocery store. To have that connection just appropriate to the moment, just so I'm there, so that I'm living my life. We're called human beings, not human was or human will be, but it's a present tense verb. I'm a human being.
Yeah. I did not connect not this whole thing with not listening to violence, and that is actually very profound, because it's making me think that the first person that we need to listen to is our own selves. And by ignoring that inner voice, I'm actually inflicting violence to my own self, because it's like deep inside there's a voice screaming to be heard, and I'm ignoring it completely and begging the world to listen to me. So that first violence has to be stopped by listening to my own self, connecting, being present with me. Then the violence of not listening to others or being aggressive that I want to share and I want to keep talking, then, then that starts reducing. Interesting.
It really is. It's because the reality of it all is we're all in this boat together, all of us. And the end destination, of course, is the death of the body. So while I'm here, how do I want to get along with the passengers? It's not the destination, it's the cruise, it's the voyage itself. So we make our voyage more pleasant by being connected to one another. And the only way I can connect is by being available. So the old adage is, I have one mouth and two ears. That's a good relationship. So that means that I should do twice as much listening as I do speaking.
Totally agree.
I'm really, I'm enjoying this connection of listening with you so much. And we could go on and on and on. But I think for everyone is probably more than enough materials to work on. Maybe you could lead us into like a 3-minute meditation commentary that somehow encapsulates the overall sensation of this. Would you be willing to do that?
Definitely.
Thank you.
This was definitely beautiful. So now let's take the conversation into a precious experience where we can tune in and we can all be connected. I become present in the present, in this moment, a being of light, stable in peace, stable in the now. Free from thoughts of yesterday, of the past, and of tomorrow or the future. The only time I have present is now. And in this present, I journey to my sanctuary of peace deep within. And I sit still with myself. Listening, connecting to the inner voice of my heart. As I listen, I can feel the deep peace that surrounds me. The serenity the joy of being whole, the joy of reconnecting to the missing part of me. In silence, in peace, as I listen and as I tune in, I permit this beautiful energy to grow, to expand, and to flow around me, through me, and out into the world, to my eternal family. In this deep state of connection, we are all one, traveling together, learning together, growing together.
Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you.
I feel very fortunate to be present at this moment. And thank you for making my journey together more pleasant. Bye for now.
Thank you too, Brother Craig.
We'll
Bye.
meet you again. Bye all.